Welcome, everybody. This is Sunday, May 16th, 2021, and we are starting our question and answer segment of our Sunday call. I have a question here from Liz from Arizona, and her fiance lives in Australia, so he doesn't get to come on the call a lot because of the time difference. But here's what he says. He says he lint rolls his body and all his clothing that he puts on inside and out. It usually takes 5 to 10 minutes to get dressed, but now it's taking 65 to 75 minutes with shorts and t-shirt. It's getting cold, and he's not sure what steps to take for winter clothes. Is there a better way to speed up getting dressed? Or am I factoring in an extra hour to lint roll all the fluffy warm clothes for winter? So lint rolling is good, but that's not what I would recommend doing, and what I would recommend is probably going to take even longer. So can I start the answer for this question, Richard? And
go right ahead. Yep.
Okay. So first of all, in the book, there are protocols for laundry. You should be washing things daily, including all your bedding, and you want to pre-soak things with ammonia by either, if your washing machine has a pre-soak feature, or by putting 2 inches of ammonia in the bottom of a plastic bin and covering things and just letting them sit for a few hours or overnight. And then in the wash, you put at least a cup of borax. And what I recommend is, and Richard has a great laundry enzyme, or you can just use an enzyme cleaner like Richard's Clean 'em Up Zymes. And I add a teaspoon of powdered blue Clorox Pool Shock, and I dissolve it in the enzyme cleaner. And I wash the clothes in that, and then in the dryer you can take a sock or a washcloth and spray one with ammonia and one with peppermint oil and dry things on high for a long time. Put them in Ziploc freezer bags or big Ziploc bags so they don't get reinfested. And then basically when you put on clothes, they're clean and disinfected, and you don't have to lint roll them. The problem comes with your own body, and what I recommend is taking the 3 baths a day, and after the bath, which is also gone over in the book, and it tells you what to put in the bath. After the bath, you take a shower to rinse off, and then you can use either the Nature's Gift and make a spray, or you could use the Nature's Gift mouthwash, which is also a body wipe, and wipe down your body. And after that, you could put all kinds of, you could either get creams like Claudia's Dream Cream through Richard's store, or you can make your own creams using like coconut oil, amlactin, peppermint oil, neem oil, and you cover your body with these oils and rub them in really hard, and things are going to come out of your body. And when you're really infested, it could take up to 4 hours to get stuff out of your body, and then you can take another shower to rinse off, or you could put diatomaceous earth on your body on top of the oils. But that's what takes a long time, and then you get dressed after that. That's my recommendation. That's what I did. But when it was really bad, it was taking me 4 hours after every morning and every night after the baths. So I mean, now, some days I don't even take a bath 2 days in a row. I may not even take a shower because it gets better. It gets better, and you don't have to do that forever. But you do have to do it in the beginning.
Very good, Robin. The only thing I would say or add to that is the ammonia is very powerful. And remember, it's the fumes of the ammonia that really do the work. So you can, in the bottom of your tote where you put your 1 or 2 inches of ammonia, if you could have a way of separating some kind of screening or in there, whatever, the clothes sit on top and the ammonia underneath, That way all the ammonia won't be soaked up in your clothing where the liquid isn't really helping anyway. You're just wanting those fumes to do the job for you. That's the magic of ammonia. And that's experienced when you put it in a dryer, because when you wet a cloth with ammonia in the dryer, and I actually took a gallon of ammonia, and I took like maybe 5 of the squirt, what do you call the thing that you take the the peppermint out of the bottle with, the droppers. The dropper squirter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would put like 5 of them into a gallon, shake it up, and that way I didn't have to use it separately. But you could do it either way. But again, when it dries, the fumes are the heat moves the ammonia into the fume state, which actually does the disinfecting in your dryer. Great. Any other questions?
There was one question. Well, I gave my, in terms of stage 2 green apples, can it be any kind of green apple? I thought it should be Granny Smith because they're a little more sour and don't have as much sugar. Some green apples.
I thought that Granny Smith was the only green.
No, there are other ones. There are other green apples. So I think it should be Granny Smith. But
I agree. I never tested other green apples, only Granny Smith that I'm familiar with. Absolutely. Any other questions? Anyone like to call in? You got the phone numbers. I hope you wrote them down.
Hi.
Your name, please?
Hi. I'm Jason from Pennsylvania.
Hi, Jason. What would you like to ask or share?
Hi, Richard. Well, first of all, I've been suffering with this for Morgellons for about 7 months now. I'm 46. I'm a divorced dad. This has been another layer on top of the pandemic for me. I haven't seen my children since this has happened because my son had this as well, but he recovered, fortunately. So that's a fear of mine of him getting this again, and my other child.
Reinfected, yes.
Yes. My question is, I was recently diagnosed with hypothyroidism, and I'm wondering, is that a cause or an effect of Morgellons?
I have no idea. He's been diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, and he's wondering if that has anything to do with Morgellons. My answer would be I doubt it. No connection. Since we're getting technical here, before I go on, the FDA requires me to inform everybody that we're not here to cure, treat, or mitigate any disease or diagnose any disease. We're here to educate. Before you accept any of our recommendations, discuss them thoroughly with your doctor. That includes before you go on the diet to make sure it doesn't interfere with any health problems. Anyone else like to share? Ask a question.
Yes, I would like to share.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Hello.
Your first name?
Yes.
This is Emily.
I can.
Hello. And
hi, Emily.
I just wanted to share my personal experience with having hypothyroidism and Morgellons. I was diagnosed with having a thyroid condition 20 years before developing Morgellons. So I don't think that my having a thyroid condition contributed towards whatever is going on now. That's just my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
That's your personal experience, and I tend to agree. We even did a research study some time ago because one person felt that getting the MRI contributed to Morgellons through the use of gallium. So, well, it's a hypothesis. So I actually sent out emails if you had an MRI and you have Morgellons. Well, a few people did. I mean, I had, but it didn't cause Morgellons. It was coincidental. There are many coincidences. So we don't want to get generalizing and saying that, in fact, there's the researcher at Oklahoma State University, Randy Wymore, looked extensively into all of this, and there is nothing that to indicate that any other physical illness, such as whether you have fungal issues or internal parasites or hyperthyroidism or any kind of medical condition, contributes to the development of Morgellons.
Right.
He looked into all that.
I think it actually goes along with your topic earlier about panic. I think that when people are very desperate to figure out what is the cause of their problem, that it's very tempting to go on the many Facebook pages that exist, or try to conduct your own research on the internet, or try to take a poll among other members of these groups and just looking for commonality. I think it's more of like a desperate people, desperate times.
Yes, I recognize and I appreciate the fact that we were all desperate in the beginning.
Right.
We're all desperate.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the people wrote in to share. One of the people wrote in to share that she does a lot of research, and she read where papaya seeds are fantastic for parasites. So what she goes out and buys papaya seeds, and then she wonders why a day later she's going crazy with the itching and biting. Papaya seeds are not on the diet. Okay, so be wary. I mean, look at wormwood. Look at what's the other, black walnut. If you go to anybody who works with parasites, internal parasites, the first thing they're going to do is put you on one of these detox things that have wormwood and black walnut, that are two phenomenal, fantastic detox agents to get rid of internal parasites. But guess what? Columbella, springtails, snow fleas eat it up. They love it. Remember what they do. They eat stuff like that in the environment. They eat up the black walnut hulls and stuff like that in the environment. That's what they do. That's their diet.
And I put black seed oil on my arms a couple of years back because I hadn't read your book. I didn't know anything about it really. Somebody else suggested that would help your skin heal, and my whole arm was much worse. I'll just leave it at that. But I think whenever.
Well, really, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was terrible. Black.
So black seed oil, you said you put on your skin?
Yeah, I put it on my arm. That was real bad, and then I developed like 20 more sores on that arm. It took forever to heal. It was horrible.
Oh, that's amazing. I've never heard of topicals contributing to the issue, but doesn't surprise me. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Anyone
you.
else like to share? Keep coming back. Anyone else like to share your experience or ask a question?
Here's a question. On stage 1 of the diet, can I have other green vegetables not listed, like Brussels sprouts? No Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts.
They are listed as a no-no.
Yeah, they're listed as no.
They're listed on the diet. No.
No avocado.
No asparagus. No. Yeah. No olives.
I did okay with olives. Maybe I was in stage 2 and didn't realize it, though. Black olives.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I didn't have a problem.
Well, you know, in the beginning I said no mushrooms, and that was based on the mushrooms you get at the grocery store that you put into your salad. And then later on I found that, black mushrooms are okay, red mushrooms are okay. So, all right, maybe certain olives are okay. I don't know, but that's why we recommend keeping a diary, a journal, is to write down what you eat and then determine if you react. Usually in the beginning, you're going to react within 20 minutes to a half hour after you eat something, unless you eat tuna fish in oil, and you can be guaranteed a reaction in 2 minutes. Yeah, like that.
But if you're going to add a food, wait 3 days before you add another food, at least 3 days. Don't go crazy.
Yes, that's good advice.
And write down so you can track reactions. But you still have to. There are so many vegetables. You can have green beans. You can have broccoli. You can have cauliflower. You can have zucchini. You can have spinach. You can have kale. You can have red and green cabbage. You can have radishes. You can have lettuce. You can have tomatoes. You can have cucumbers.
Collard greens.
Collard greens. I don't know how to cook those. So yeah, there's a lot you can have, and if you stick with what's
and if you
you'll be safe till you get things calmed down.
And what we talked about last week, you can really kick the diet off if you focus on leafy vegetables with raw onions, chives, and leeks.
Fresh garlic.
And garlic. Right. These are all prebiotics. Stay away from probiotics. Probiotics, forget them. Prebiotics are foods. You don't have to buy probiotics. Look at all the money you save. Just eat onions, raw. Phenomenal food.
Red onions, white onions, yellow onions.
Right. Vidalia.
There's it.
Any other questions? Great. We love these kind of questions. Anyone like to share?
I have a question about the diet. This is Jason again. Does anyone have Does anyone have any adverse reactions to pork? I know that's on the diet, and I've recently tried it, and I feel like I don't do well with it.
Anything is possible. That's why we recommend it not as it's written in stone. The diet is for 99.5% perfect the way it is for 99.5% of the people, but for instance, some people can't have coffee.
I have never had a problem with pork, but I cook my own, and I only use fresh garlic and sea salt to season it with. If you buy any pre-cooked meat that is marinated, or they have their own concoction of herbs and spices, there could be reactions to that. Even pre-cooked chicken, it has natural flavors, it has sugars in it, so you have to be really careful about that stuff.
Any meat can have parasites, so that's why you cook them all. That's why when you're cooking them, you're supposed to use temperature to make sure they're fully cooked, and go by the temperature that is recommended to make sure they're fully cooked. So back to the answer to the question, you could be sensitive to pork, and the way to do it is to keep the diary, keep the journal, and if you have pork and you notice you react to it, then you want to look at the pork and make sure that there weren't any ingredients. I'd never heard of pork infused with, except for ham, it could be infused with honey and salt and honey. So you'd want to obviously stay away from that kind of pork that might have cured with honey, for instance.
No, there are some that come.
Okay, anyone else have?
Yeah. I don't have any other.
So always look at the ingredients. Okay. Chris, you got anybody that called in or wanted to share?
No.
Yeah, when we come to diet, we have dietary preferences. I mean, there are some people who won't touch pork at the, with a 100-foot pole, or even beef. They're called vegans, and vegetarians. We acknowledge them. We respect your dietary preferences, and the diet works for everybody. In fact, some of the sessions we have are about how vegans can get their protein. For instance, by soaking beans overnight may make it okay to consume beans, which is a great source of protein. There are certain varieties of rice that are higher in protein. So we acknowledge everybody has dietary preferences, and we're here to accommodate your dietary preferences, not to force you into eating anything in particular, or to criticize you for anything that you do choose to eat. That's your choice. We're not the government. Anyone else?
Am I still muted, Richard, or can I say something else?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, perfect. This is Emily in Kansas again. I just wanted to let you know that my debriding soap arrived, and I thought it was very cool that the little pen-shaped spray bottle came with it, and I've been making the body spray and spraying it on some of the sores that I've had more recently, and they are healing faster, and it is helping them. And I had two that were rather large that are almost totally healed up after 2 weeks of doing this. And I also bathed in it and followed the directions to, place it on a Band-Aid, or you can rub the debriding soap directly onto the sore. So thank you so much. I don't know what's in that stuff, but it is helping me.
That's great.
It's nature's gift. Your name again?
It is.
Emily.
Emily. Uh-huh.
Emily. Okay, thank you very much, Emily, and I look forward to your success in becoming one of our coaches.
Yeah.
We look for volunteers. Please.
That would be awesome. And if I ever get completely free of this and feel like I know, there's so many things about the diet and just what you're doing, and then I would be happy to help someone else. But I would want to definitely get it under control first and not give anyone any bad advice. Because I agree with your comment earlier about how people tell someone to do something and then it instills a hope, and then every time you try these things and it doesn't work out, it is like further disappointment. So anyway, thank you so much for everything.
Well, that's great, and that's why the coaches follow the book, and that's why the coaches help me on the call, because they're up on the information, and you can be too. So the information is all in the book, it's all in the blog, and that is your escape out of the pit. And this call and asking me questions. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
We're also looking for a volunteer for a buddy coach, because Barbara is very busy doing our formulas that for the mouth repair and the parasite stop formula. So she would love to have somebody take over her buddy coach responsibilities as well. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When you guys were talking about the brain fog and the anxiety, well, I have been doing fairly well, and recently I had that. I had severe anxiety and the brain fog because what was happening, and I didn't know it, is I got ear mites. The mites came into my ear, and I was getting dizzy and very weak and very sick. And my whole face was covered with the rash, and it came so fast I didn't know what was going on. So once I figured out what was going on, I started spraying my body down with the enzyme spray using the sprayer. Yep. And I sprayed everything, my hair and everything, and then I would use the your soap. And eventually it started getting better, and then I would do a facial with the Indian, the facial stuff, and so it started peeling off. So my ears really had holes in them, and it was real bad. And this was like 5 days ago or so. Now it's almost gone. So I want to encourage people, and also the diet had begun to kick in, and my doctor decided to give me an anti-anxiety, buspirine, the Buspar, and she gave me that. So I noticed that the anxiety started going away, and so did the fear or whatever was going on, and I began to heal. So I want to encourage people, the diet is so important. And when we look at the diet, you've given me the diet years. I've been like this for 7 years. And it was like the diet was too hard for me to do because I had anxiety and depression. So I really couldn't do it. But then when I started, like I've been talking to Robin, so about a month now, or just about a month, I've been sticking to the diet. And what I realized that it's so easy. Phase 1 is how I want to eat anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, it's how we want to eat. We need those prebiotics. So I just started doing, I made up my mind. So even though we have the brain fog, if we can do one thing, and that's that diet first, if you could just concentrate. I told Robin I was eating the same food every day, and it made it easier. So I didn't have to figure out what I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat eggs for breakfast, salad for lunch, with chicken, and it was laid out, and I did that. And now I feel so much better. So thank you guys. You're doing a wonderful job. If people can just stick on one thing and then go to the second thing, then I think we'll have better, faster results.
Thank you for sharing, Gwen.
You're welcome. Thank you, Gwen, for helping.
Yes.
Yeah.
And please be a coach for us in the not too near future.
Yeah.
We love to have you coach.
I need to kind of get this part together. It seems like every time I plan, something happens, and it felt like I was dying. When those, what I think the brain fog is coming from, and this is my own experience, I think the parasites are actually going into our heads. And the reason why I said that is because my eyes changed. It was like, and I've seen this happen before. You know, I'm a nurse, and when we look in a person's eyes, you can tell a whole lot of how the pupils are dilating. Well, it was so bad I couldn't walk. I lost my equilibrium, and my eyes, I couldn't focus. So I think that's what's going on. But that sprayer and the enzymes, I just sprayed my whole body from my head to my toe, all in my ears and every place. And that started the change.
Great. We appreciate your sharing. Thank you very much. It's encouraging for others who are new to the program. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share or ask a question before we close this segment? Not that I'm in a rush to do it, but if no one has a question or would like to share.
Nick, go ahead.
Okay, that closes this segment then.
Wait.
Yes, Nick.
Yeah, Rich, just let me ask you something. I'm a very heavy smoker. Would that have something to do with my, I know you're not a doctor, but I'm trying to quit, but would that have something to do with my...
it doesn't, Nick. You know, years ago, I actually took that on as a research project. I actually used the patch to see if nicotine would help reduce the symptoms, and nicotine, and then I did I sent out the questionnaire and asked how many people were smokers, and you know, in the beginning, I got a whole bunch of people wrote back and said they weren't smokers, and I thought, wow, I'm onto something here. Smoking causes it. And then all of a sudden, all the smokers started responding. So nicotine does not affect the parasites one way or the other. And the strange thing I found is after being on the nicotine patches, with nicotine in my body from the patches, when I stopped the patches, no withdrawal. I mean, it was just okay. So I don't know really about nicotine being the addictive aspect of smoking.
Right. Is one of the other things like rheumatoid a part of this what I guess Morgellons is rheumatoid? I know you're not a doctor.
What is it? What are you asking? What is?
I have all of a sudden I got a lot.
Have what?
Rheumatoid.
Well, Well, Lyme disease contributes to a lot of those. Yeah, a lot of Lyme disease contributes to aches and pains. So Morgellons, aka Lyme disease, that's right up the alley. That's all part of the what's going on. This is why it would be beneficial if you could get in touch with someone like Dr. Saverly. I know you tried Dr. Bransfield. It's unfortunate. We had a guest on a few weeks ago, and he said, well, that's the way to go. Go get an LLMD. But looking at all the people, there are not enough doctors in this country to even deal with 1,000th of the number of people suffering from Morgellons. So if you can find an LLMD and have him diagnose you with Lyme disease, you can probably get some quick results. And that goes true for anybody. We're not here to replace doctors. We're here to, but as the research comes out tomorrow that I'm going to share, that's not the solution. That's not the cure. It's not a cure, because you go back to sugar and eating bad crap like refined flour products. It's going to come back. So, but it's a good place to start to get immediate results, to get quick results. It's a good place to start. Okay, anyone else like to share? Thank you, Nick.
Can I respond to Nick, please?
Was there more, Nick?
Again.
Only from your personal experience.
It says, actually.
If you had an experience similar, yes. Yes.
I just wanted to comment on his what he said.
Well, I'm sorry, we don't. What is your experience with smoking?
I just wanted to say that Dr. Saverly, I requested treatment from her, and she will not treat smokers. So I don't know if that's the case of all
interesting.
physicians, but she will not. And she even says in her book, I have her book, that she won't spend time with smoking patients.
Interesting. I have no idea why, because my experience, they have nothing to do with whether or not you are dealing with Morgellons. And so I don't know why she chooses that.
Smoking does lower your immune system.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing healthy about it, and if we want to be healthy, sure. She should also be insisting on a very strict diet, and she's not. So, but to not treat people who are dealing with smoking, that's her personal choice. Yeah, but thanks for sharing. I did not know that. I'll keep that in mind. So, Nick, you'll have to find another LLMD who will work with you unless you want to get rid of smoking. And I do have a CD, by the way, that you can use to stop smoking.
Okay.
And we could talk about it too, Nick.
Just quickly,
Thank you, Rob.
I've worked. Yeah. While I was doing hypnosis, I've worked with over 10,000 people in groups, and I had a very high rate of success in people stopping smoking. It's in here. It's not the nicotine. It's in here. You think the right way, you will stop smoking. You never say, I want to quit, give up, or do without smoking. You say, I have finished with it. I'm through with it. I've done it. I have stopped it. It's over.
It's a paradigm.
Not I quit, give up, or do without.
You say, I'm not a smoker.
So there is I do have it in a CD, and you can pick it up on my website. But you can stop smoking. Okay, anyone else like to share? Ask a question? But I'm really appreciative of that information. Dr. Saverly not treating smokers. Well, I guess that does conclude this segment.